Deputy Murphy.
Giancola. Giancola, I've received more correspondence on this issue than any other since my election to Dáil Éireann. Hundreds of postcards and letters and thousands of emails. My consideration of this matter did not begin with the tragic death of an expectant mother and her child at an Irish hospital recently, and I do not believe that it did for any member of this House. When you decide to enter politics, the issue of abortion is a question that you are immediately confronted with. You are expected to have a fixed position. You are expected to be in a camp. People immediately try to put you in a box, pro-life or pro-choice. But such labels or terms are extreme, and in no way do they sufficiently capture the complexity of the issue, the genuine uncertainty that people may have, the possibility that one's own thoughts can change by degree over time, or the myriad of different views that are actually held on the issue. It is far too simplistic. Since I entered politics, I have tried not to be captured by this narrow and reductivist attempt by others to frame my own views on the matter. There is a responsibility with this job to try and stand above the fray when deciding upon national issues, to remove yourself from temporal considerations of the matter at hand and consider the longer-term consequences, to divest yourself of any electoral considerations, particularly on matters of conscience, and also always to exercise your own judgment as distinct from the opinions of those you represent. This is essential. Every single possible view on this issue is held within my constituency and within my party. How can I represent each view independently and coherently? I cannot. I can only use my own judgment in the matter, or else I betray them all. There has been some talk around this issue on the necessity of having a free vote when the matter is finally decided on by government, and I support this idea. And not just on this issue. What is our vote worth if it is not free? People fear a breakdown of the whip system if we remove or relax the whip on certain issues, and some argue that it undermines the party system. I do not accept these arguments. In other parliaments, older parliaments than ours, they have such a system, and I believe these parliaments and the political parties are stronger for it. On this particular issue, parliamentarians should be allowed to vote based on what they actually think and defend that vote, rather than being forced into a position they do not agree with. And by enforcing the whip on this issue, there is a risk that we could possibly end up weakening the decision that we ultimately take. And who will be served by such an outcome? To come straight to the matter, I do not favour abortion. That is my own personal feeling on this issue. But do I have a right to force that view on another person? Whether as a legislator or not, do I have a right to tell a woman what she must do with her body? Does the state have that right? As the state has a responsibility to all our lives, it has a responsibility to unborn life. But I do not believe this responsibility to be superior to the state's responsibility to a woman's life, her mental health, or her health. I do believe that the state has a responsibility to provide for the lawful termination of pregnancy in certain circumstances. Some of these circumstances would require a change to the Constitution. And saying that a person can always travel, if absolutely necessary, is not the answer. I do not believe I have the right to tell another person what they can or cannot do when it comes to this most important of issues. And I do believe that the state has a responsibility here to make certain provisions in law. Insofar as the report of the expert group on the judgment in A, B and C versus Ireland is concerned, I thank those people involved for drafting this report. Though no explicit direction is given, it seems clear to me that the option outlined in paragraph 7.4.3 is the most suitable: legislation plus regulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy.